So, November the 11th, Monday morning on this very unusually warm, sunny November morning. We've already started to strip the number one bike down for the winter. Going to be all the bodyworks off it. The engine's coming out today, so we've already took off the exhaust system, which most of you already know. Mounts under there, mounts under here, and also mounts at the back here, the silencer. We've already drained the water out of it via the drain plug. We're going to drain the engine oil next, which is just under there. You can see the sump plug bolt, which is currently lock wired. Spark plug is already disconnected. Main wiring loom is already disconnected. There's also part of it. Carburetor's off it already. Clutch cable is released. We go around this side. Gear linkage message. Gear linkage rod is already off. Just cable tie that up there out of the way. Chain's coming off it. Obviously the chain needs to come off anyway to drop the engine down. So I'll take the chain off, and then that's going to be soaked in a small tub of oil through the winter, and then before it gets used again it will be left to hang and just drip dry a little bit, so it's not too soggy with oil, but it could just be enough over the winter months to lubricate it. So basically, to drop the engine out, we have got two bolts here, two bolts on that side, one bolt here, one bolt at the top there, and then I think, yep, all the wiring's off. Oh, not forgetting the starter motor lead, that is already off, which connected to there. There's the wire for that, just holding loose there. So yeah, once that's all done, the engine will be out. Not a big job on these, to be fair. So yeah, it's quite a nice morning to be outside, enjoying the sunshine. It's very warm actually. Of course, the overalls are on today. Right, let's get to it.
Music sounds better with you.
So the bike chain is off. We've got here a tub of engine oil which came out of this bike, because I do change the engine oil on this bike very regular, probably every 2 or 3 meetings. Got enough in there just to soak the chain. One thing I did forget to do when I took the gear linkage off was actually take the bike out of gear. So, in fact, oh no, I've done it. I have done it. It is out of gear. It's in neutral. So, yeah, what we're going to do now is we're going to drop the chain in this tub, which will sit through the whole of winter, soaking, just to keep it lubed. That's it. Let's make sure it's all submerged. I'll get a nice soaking over winter, and then it'll be left to sort of drip dry a little bit when it comes to get used again. But bear in mind, all the joints will be, or linkages will still be nicely lubricated. So we'll put the lid back on that, and that goes away until it gets fitted again. Some may ask, so well, why are you taking the engine out? What are you doing to the engine when the bike has been pretty much faultless for the last 2 years? Bear in mind, last year it finished runner-up in the Mario Kart Championship. This year it's won 2 championships. And over the past 2 years, I have 1 DNF on this bike, which was this year at Mario Kart. The gear linkage bolt shared, which meant I had no gears, so I had to put out of the race. So yeah, 1 DNF in 2 years. Second in the championship last year and 2 championships this year. So this engine's got a good record, but that's exactly why it's coming out this winter, to have a refresh, because it's done 2 years. And it's definitely ready for a bit of a refresh, new piston, other new bits and bobs, and might have a bit to have it tweaked a little bit more, so we'll see. So the next job is to slacken all the engine mounting bolts. So just before the 1 minute silence for Remembrance Day, I just had time to chop the engine out. So there she is. One Honda 125 Vase engine. Just show you the frame without the engine in. So I'll be getting a bit of a clean under here. Also checking some of the welds. This is winter. The swinging arm bushers and bearings is a very small, and I mean small, amount of play in them. So I will be replacing those over the winter. Winter's the opportunity to do little bits like this. I'm keeping this bike. This is the #1 bike, which has brought me all the success over the past 2 years. And it's a good bike. As you know, the orange and black bike, which is basically the spare bike, that is up for sale if anybody's interested. So yeah, that's all I'm really going to do on this bike today. I don't want to spend all day working on it. The season's not long finished. It's nice to have a break from actually working on bikes, but it's just a nice day today, so it's nice to get outside, get myself a coffee in a minute. Got the radio on today. Radio 2 is my go-to sort of station. I'll also be checking things like the fork seals, and I'll probably replace those anyway, because it's not a massive job. And the fork seals, a pair of fork seals is what, £8 with 4 cord as well. So whilst the bike's being worked on the winter, what's the point in risking things like that when it does get racing next year? When I don't know when it's going to get racing next year yet, or what I'm actually going to do on it, but it won't be a lot next year, but I'm doing something on it, I'm sure. I hope to also get a bigger bike in the stable to have a go on, but it really, that depends on finances. But failing that, I've got plans of a couple of things I can do on this one. So there we are, the engine's out. That's going to get stripped over the winter. The clutch cover is going to come off. All the clutch is going to be checked, probably replace the clutch plates. Water pump bearings, things like that, going to get replaced. Having all the top end off, the head's going to get a bit of work on it. It's going to have a new piston in it. And a good clean up, general clean up, tidy up. And then we'll go from there, really. So yeah, that is all for today. Thanks for listening. As you know there, the chain has now been soaked for winter. That is topped up now because obviously I've drained the engine oil out of the bike. The engine, it's always a good indicator of how good the engine is when you drain the oil. It's checked for small filings of metal and things like that in it, but that engine oil was very good. I think I changed it to just before the last 2 events of the season, and I normally change it every 2 events. I'm going to be looking at taking some of the unwanted lugs off the bike to reduce the weight. I've already reduced the back here, got rid of some of the frame at the back here, keeping the strength welds here as well, obviously for strength. But there's various other lugs that come off. These are totally redundant, these 2 lugs on this side, so they're coming off, amongst a few other bits and bobs. It'll probably amount to about a kilogram or 2 once I take these bits off, so it all mounts up. So there we go, thanks for listening, and wait for the next episode.